What's going on, everybody?
You're right. We definitely do sit on different sides. We usually flip flop.
Are we?
Yeah, I think we're gonna bring some change to the webinar today, which I think might be needed.
It's a whole different vibe today for sure.
Absolutely.
Today's webinar is definitely a different vibe. Excited to be on with everybody. How's everybody doing? I see some people already jumping into the chat. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you all for being here. Absolutely. This is a new one for us, so we're excited to bring some unique information and some insight to this, and really kick on a few topics that we really haven't kicked on in the past.
Yeah, no, this is strictly marketing, right? So we're gonna talk a lot about different marketing strategies, how to implement those things, some tools you can use, what we use, how you can leverage some of those things, what we have for you to leverage, all of those things, right? That's what we're here to do. So I see some people already kind of getting down in the chat. If you don't mind, throw who you are, where you're calling in from, and we're gonna get ready to rock here in just another minute or two. We'll let everybody join.
Yeah, we got Cali, we got ATL, got Katy, Texas,
Yeah, we got a lot.
Michigan, Tennessee, Ohio, Texas,
There we go. Now I can start to see them.
Oh yeah, we're all over the map.
I love it. I love it. I see upstate New York. I see a lot of people out there, man. This is cool. This is gonna be a really good one. I'm super duper excited. We're actually doing something new that Tim doesn't even know about yet. Megan and I discussed it earlier. Megan's our CMO. Jen and Francis on our marketing team are looking at me like, what kind of curveball is Tony about to throw us? Well, you're gonna have to wait to the end to find out. All of you, even you in the room. Tim has no idea either, guys. So
I'm the most eager, probably.
You're definitely the most eager. No, we're super duper excited to have you guys on, to be rocking out with you, and we have a jam-packed presentation for you that we'll not skim through, but Tim and I tend to talk, so we'll spend some time on those slides, and we'll get through that. Then we'll do a live Q&A session at the end. I see some people already dumping some things into the Q&A, so that's awesome. That's where we're going to start the Q&A, right? So if you have questions that come up throughout the presentation, feel free to dump those in the Q&A. What happens with the chat is they get buried quick, guys, and a lot of times we don't even see that till we're analyzing the webinar afterwards. So definitely make sure you're utilizing the Q&A. We try to keep up as best we can, but there's definitely more of you guys than there are of us. So without further ado, I think we can get rocking. We're almost at 200 people already. This was one of our bigger webinars to date. I think we were over 2,200 registrants. I don't know how many people are live on LinkedIn at the moment, but we're also live on LinkedIn. So shout out if you're joining us on LinkedIn. Super duper excited to have you. And again, today's presentation is really more about to leverage being a commercial loan broker, and in terms of marketing that service, right? All good. So as we get going, guys, again, Q&A is open. Feel free to start dumping some questions in there. Wow, a lot of people, man. Holy cow.
A lot of people from all over the states. And I think what's so unique about this presentation is that the level of marketing that you can do to bring in business to us and bring in business in general is nationwide. So no matter where you're located, you could be prospecting clients in really all 50 states.
In the chat, really quick, I just want to know if you're a partner or not. Yes or no? Yes or no? I see Bob Astrup. I know you're a partner. Bob's been around for a minute. I see a lot of familiar names. Anthony Carter. Shout out to all the partners. This is the one webinar where we actually will bring our existing partners on. And what makes that unique is it's actually for them, right? So if you are new and you're not a partner, shout out to you guys because you're kind of getting a bird's eye view as to what it means to be a partner. But this is really a resource for our partners to understand a little bit about what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how they can leverage it. So shout out to all of our partners. A lot of familiar names. Wayne Roper. Shout out to Sam Waltz.
Yeah, Terry's in here. Sean's in here.
Yeah, I see a lot of familiar names. A lot of people saying yes to being a partner. Shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for being on. These webinars, guys, have come so far. I really can't tell you how excited I am to be on, and how blessed we are to have the opportunity to talk at you for the next hour or so. So we'll get going. I know Tim's getting antsy over here. He wants to know what the surprise is. So let's get this thing rocking, right?
Let's strategize.
Leads to loans, right? That's what this thing is all about. So who are we? Who are you?
I'm Timothy. I've been with ROK actually since I graduated college, coming on 6 years now. I've had a few different roles here. I've done direct business development. I've done advisory for new businesses that were looking for financing. And over the past 2 years, I've had the pleasure of actually managing the business development team here alongside Tony. And I mean, top to bottom, all different types of partnerships, large bank partnerships, top four accounting firm partnerships. And then on top of that, the onesie twosies where there's businesses or individuals, I should say, that are like, I want to get into this. I don't really know if I can see success, and helping them find and see success through their network. And really the goal of this presentation is understanding how to monetize on your network. And I've been doing it for the past 6 years.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'm Tony Cimino, Tim's boss. No, I'm just kidding.
Really.
My role here is the VP of business development. And what does business development mean at ROK? It means lead generation. So when we were talking about having this webinar, we debated a lot who was going to be on the webinar. I really tried to get Megan, who's our CMO, to do it. But she likes to be behind the camera. But shout out to Megan. She said, hey, no, I really want you and Tim to own it and run with it. When it comes to lead gen, we're the company, guys. We generate more leads than really any other broker in the industry. And we know what makes us unique is we know what to do with those leads when we get them. We're able to move them very quickly. We're able to get business owners the access that they're looking for, and really just align them with the best funding that's available for them, depending on whether they're looking to solve a challenge or take advantage of an opportunity in their business, right? So lead gen, that's kind of Tim and I's thing, and that's why we're here to chat with you guys. A little bit about ROK, right? Why are we putting on this webinar? Somebody said they can't see the slides really quick in the chat. Can everybody see the slides? I just want to confirm. All right, cool. See, thank you. Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, I get distracted easily.
So yeah, in essence, kind of just going over some of the tools and strategies that we have when it comes to marketing. It's important to utilize everything that's available to you. There's some things you can use on a small scale. There's some things you could use on a large scale. And I mean, I think one of the most important things with marketing is understanding, maybe going slow in a few areas first to find out what works before going all in, all eggs in one basket on one of these strategies here.
For sure. And, when it really comes down to it, we call it the marketing mix, right? To kind of give you your own little term behind it, right? And what that means is like every business is going to be a little different. Every way that you market your different products or your different to your different audiences is going to change the strategy behind everything. So when it comes down to it, this is really just every way that you can market products today to small business owners. Right. There are some illegal forms of marketing. We're not going to touch on those things, but there is what's called canned spam compliance, right, or the TCPA Act, and these are things that basically give you guidelines as to how you can market your services to a consumer or a small business owner, right? So you want to remain canned spam compliant. What does that mean? That means you're not contacting people who are on do not contact lists, right? We don't have some of this stuff in the presentation. And, Tim and I talked about this, that we were going to get into things that really aren't in the presentation. And here's the first one. When it comes down to your marketing and you take a look at your audience, you need to make sure that you are cleansing your data. What that means is these people have had a chance to opt into your communication, and that allows you to then reach out to them about your service, right? So it's not so much just identifying the audience as it is then taking the steps to be able to market to that audience the right way. One thing you're going to learn from us is how to do business the right way. That's why we have a marketing mix. That's why we use all of these different tools, right? And it's what makes us who we are. We're not afraid to walk a little bit longer of a path just because we know that that's where the fruits of our labor is really going to be, is really going to make the most difference, right?
I agree. And I feel like one of those things that you want to do before you get into one of these new marketing channels is understand the rules and regulation behind it. Just as much as it's important that somebody opts in is the ability for them to opt out. And that's one of those things that goes hand in hand with marketing campaigns, is the ability for them to opt out. So, before even going into any of this head first, you really do want to know all the regulation around it to make sure you and your company are safe.
For sure. And you can always seek a professional's advice, right? You can reach out to a lawyer and ask them a little bit about this and how you can leverage what you already have or information you're trying to acquire, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that will sell you the data, but they're not going to tell you what to do with it once you've acquired it, right? These are just the proper channels to kind of go down, right? Our webinars, right? Over 12,000 people have attended our webinars in the past. I couldn't believe this when we pulled it. The very first webinar we did was back in November of 2020, and there was 38 people that registered and 16 people that attended.
I was gonna say, I think only like 6 or 7 stayed on past 15. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to tell you guys, but 2 of those people were mine and Pat's moms. Right. So
counts.
Yeah. So you know, one thing that I'll tell you is it's not lost on me that this is a marketing channel for us, right? So what we decided to do was kind of spotlight a couple of our lead sources, as we'll call them, right? Webinars are a lead source that we use for referral partners, excuse me, right? And you might have even joined Tim's referral partner webinar in the past few months here. He does a monthly webinar that's all targeted around new customer acquisition, right? So the second part of why we utilize our webinar is customer retention, which is this webinar, right? We're talking about all our active partners, you know, everybody that said yes in the chat before, you know, that chat exploded pretty quickly. This is a customer retention tool. It allows us to interact with you guys at a mass scale, right? Email marketing is a way that we promote the webinar, right? It's a form of marketing for a form of marketing, right? That's where that marketing mix comes in, guys, right? Social media. I'm sure you see some of our stuff on social media when it comes to our webinars, right? We always have our events on LinkedIn and Facebook. Right now, we are live on LinkedIn and Facebook, right? So it's really just a way for us to be able to, what we would call, go across multiple channels of marketing, right? Really allowing us to reach you guys by any means, right? Cross posts, utilizing some of our advisors and having them share the post, right? Going directly to the people that you guys are interacting with, right? So as you're getting going, feel free to utilize it. Start your own webinar, right? It's really going to be what lead sources make the most sense for you, right? As far as social media goes, this is where you can find us. You know, you can definitely find Tim and I on all of these platforms, on all of the ROK pages, right? When it comes to culture, right? We believe that we have a great culture here and that we want to share that with you guys. So an easy way for us to do that is social media. It allows us to be a little bit more personable in how we're sharing information, right? It doesn't have to be so formal. It doesn't have to be a presentation where, you know, I don't know how many times we went back and forth on this one, but we go back and forth a lot on them. So, you know, there's the ability to utilize social media. Really quick, in the chat, yes or no, are you using social media right now to promote business loans? Yes or no? Just curious. Every day. I love it. Yes. Affirmative. Yes. I love it.
It's important. It's one of the mainstays. People go on social media in their free time. Those are the times where they're going to be able to look at things like this, consider this when they're outside of the job, when they're not working in their business, etc. And I mean, one thing that we weren't really able to touch on the webinar slide was the fact that when you do not necessarily cross platform marketing, but when you're able to have your viewers view from multiple different channels, it's going to allow more people to attend. There's only going to be so many people that are on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn. So by being able to go across all of those platforms, one, you're going to be able to garner a larger audience. And two, you're giving more accessibility to your webinar. I mean, I think one of the coolest things that we've been able to do was that we can share webinar replays even with those that aren't able to attend. And this is just marketing that they're getting sent to them. So, hey, even if now is not a convenient time, they can still get all the information that we presented on this webinar at a time that works for them. So even data capture from webinar marketing and being able to bring in opportunity from there, it's all relevant.
Well, and it even helps with growing our channels. Right. If you go to our YouTube and you look at the most viewed videos that we have, it's our webinars, because it's all of our partners that come in and they watch it that aren't on the, that don't get a chance to attend the 2:00 meeting. Right. So anybody that does watch it on YouTube or is watching this on YouTube, shout out to you guys, because, you know, that's what it's about. Right. It's about getting your information in front of people and allowing them to leverage that information themselves. Really quick. Yes or no? Do you know what Sprout Social is? What Bamboo is? Anybody Anybody know what that is? Yes or no in the
It's
chat?
got to be a few.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a mix.
Proud of the team, honestly, with all the S's that are coming up. That means we're talking about it. See, there, the nose. That's what I'm talking about.
So Bamboo, in essence, is a platform that we have to give kudos to our marketing team and being able to put together, where our referral partners actually have the ability to share social media posts about alternative lending, about debt financing, about industry-related financing, and share that to their network and actually be able to bring in referrals from that would directly come through your pipeline.
For sure.
Something that's available for free through our platform that would take a lot of people a lot of time to have to be able to create those articles, get them published, etc. And you guys have a pretty much unlimited amount at this point resources in there of different types of articles you could post.
Yeah, there's years worth of resources in that tool, guys. If you haven't signed up and you're planning on utilizing social media to promote business lending, I would say you should at least access Bamboo. You can definitely utilize the posts that are in there. What's the most difficult part of social media is content. Right, is having the content to share so that you're interacting with the network that you're trying to build. So what Sprout actually is it's our pool of content that you can share on your social media. If you're looking to do that, you can do that right inside of the portal, or you can reach out to your business development officer and ask them, right? Or you can reach out to us at the end of this and jump on with us on a quick call and be able to share our stuff. I see somebody said, I have not seen results from it yet. What I would say is make it your own, right? One thing about social media is we can provide you guys with some generic stuff, but the more you make it your own, the more you tailor it towards your audience and who you're looking to interact with, right? Feel free to customize some of the captions in there. Feel free to utilize, being able to take a picture or two and post it, as a story or something like that. The more you utilize it, the better, and that's really what it comes down to. And we give you access to pretty much anything. If you're looking for content, that's not in there, or you have an idea of some content, please message us. We have 2 full-time graphic designers. We have a bunch of video editors on staff, few people managing social media. So we can definitely crank some content for you and, give us the ideas if you have them. If you're new to it, go search Bamboo. I bet you there's a bunch of topics in there that you're already looking for. So, as far as social media, feel free to connect with Tim and I, whether it's on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow us on all those, Twitter as well, YouTube, TikTok. We're all over the ROK channel. And, when it comes down to it, guys, this is just another way for you to interact with your audience, right? And that's what it comes down to, right? Another way, right? And you might have even really quick in the webinar. In the chat, how'd you hear about the webinar? If it was email, yes or no, let me know in the chat. If you registered through email, love it. A lot of people saying email already, right? So what this tells you is email can be a huge tool. And if you didn't know, you might know this, you might feel it, right? We send between like 1 million and 2.5 million emails a month. Now, what I want you to know is there's well over 5 million contacts in our system, right? So when you're talking about the amount of emails that we're going to send or curate and put out, it's much different than somebody that's just getting started at this. Or if you're somebody that, maybe has like a customer list of 5,000 or 10,000 potential targets, right? Like any bit of list of customers, whether it's 30 people or 3 million people, is still eligible to set up email campaigns. Tim and I did a little bit of research yesterday. There's some really, really cheap or free tools out there.
Ones help you get started.
Yeah, that can help you get started. They'll let you send basically up to 500 contacts. It seemed like up to like 5 or 10 emails in a month.
Yeah.
And it was either free or $12 a month. Right. So that's where you're going to start to really see some traction with your email, is by making sure that you're just getting emails out. Right. Somebody asked, how do you prevent your emails from going to the junk folder? I don't know if everybody can see that, but what we do and how we've leveraged that is the email server that we send our emails through. So this is actually what I'm talking about, is by you going out and aligning with a company like a MailChimp or a Constant Contact, or we actually use an Oracle product. They have the ability to send the emails through their server. right? And that will allow them to be able to not go into spam, right? Because these servers are sending millions of emails a day. They have high deliverability and success rates, which is why they're going to watch your emails and how many people opt out and, what that engagement is like with your stuff. Because if it's not up to snuff, they're going to remove you from the server, right? So there's definitely best practices. You can feel free to Google best practices when it comes to email marketing. You can ask ChatGPT. You can watch a YouTube video. We might even do a webinar here in the future on strictly email campaigns and email marketing. But I don't want to spend too much time in any one area, guys, because it's a generalized question of how do I market business loans? Well, start with the goal, right? What's your goal? Our goal is to, when we market, is to engage with and have existing business owners apply for financing, right? That's our ultimate goal in marketing. Once they apply, unfortunately, it's not really marketing's job anymore to convert on that prospect. It's now a sales job, right? So marketing, when you're talking about marketing, remember what the goal is. Get them to apply, right? Get them to fill out the form, get them to engage with you, right? Yeah, get them to opt in, right? Like Tim just mentioned, but always market as well to support the sale, right? How are you going to afford to market if you're not actually getting to the sale, right? So like, it's not just about the leads. It is about the sales process and marketing in and around the sales process, right? So, you can utilize marketing during your process to be able to keep customers engaged. You can use it to re-engage with prospects who maybe you've never converted on in the past, right? Or you can even offer additional products to your existing customers, right? So it's really all about getting the information out there and servicing whatever need it is that you're looking to service, utilizing the forms of marketing that you're looking to utilize. So anything you want to add there?
I was gonna more so go into just, if you want to back up one slide or where we were regarding email marketing. I think a lot of our referral partners come from other industries where you offer other financial services, you offer other professional services to businesses. This is one of those areas where they already know who you are. And if you use email campaigns to now introduce levels of new products that you're offering, such as financing, such as other things that you may have in partnerships, that's going to be a huge source of business. And you already have those email contacts to be able to market to, rather than having to go out there and find new ones. So just keep that in mind for anybody that's here that is in a different industry. They have clients that they service for, whether it's credit repair, business credit, HR, payroll, any of those financial services. You already have those contacts to leverage before even going out there finding new ones or cold ones. Leverage the existing that you already have.
For sure, definitely. And as you're building this stuff, right, if you're doing what Tim's telling you, you're going to start to get responses and you're going to realize what's working. And that's where you start to really create the system. Guys, if you have questions, please use the Q&A. Definitely make sure you're utilizing the Q&A. No promotion of your business. You will be removed from the webinar. It's just common practice. I guess that's your form of marketing. All good. I just wanted to throw that out there. As far as utilizing us and utilizing some of the different things that we've done in the past and, all of our experience with generating leads as we do, right? What we've found is that what I was just saying is it really comes down to the data, the analytics. Once you get marketing going, utilize that information to help propel you into what's actually working and what isn't, right? So as we're getting going, right, one of the first things that's super duper important is really knowing your audience. Where are they located? What's their income level? What do they do? Right? All of these things are exactly what it's going to take for you to really understand your audience and be able to assess how you can get what matters to them in front of them, right? I always say financing, when it comes to lending or financing, it's not an if, it's a when. It's a timing thing, right? So it's really just about staying in front of your audience, and when timing's right, they'll engage. Anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I like to think that when it comes to knowing your audience and prospecting for business owners, there's a lot of resources out there. I have our team use them when it comes to specific states that we're trying to make focuses in. The SBA has articles and has documents that show the most industries in the states you're located in. They show the average age and average income of those businesses. So take a look at those things before you go ahead and try to figure out what is my audience. If you're located in Chicago and there's more trucking companies than there is restaurants, maybe think about marketing to those trucking companies, being there's a larger influx of them, and using that information in understanding your audience.
For sure. Absolutely. It's one of the pillars of good marketing, right? And when we start to talk about the future, I firmly believe the future's here. When it comes to AI and automation, I watched this industry change from the inside out. I remember when I first started, we were receiving applications and bank statements at one of two gigantic fax machines that would have a line of salespeople at it waiting for their documents to come in or waiting to be able to send their documents out, so that they could keep their deals moving. Now everything has been digitized, right? Everything has been enhanced. Everything has been optimized, right? And that's where, you really start to dial in your approaches, right? And you really start to take out things like human error, right? You may say, hey, I did that, right? But maybe it wasn't done to the fullest extent. When you start to implement automation and AI into the process, if you say that it's doing it, it's doing it. It's flipping a switch. If it's on, it's on. If it's off, it's off. What's beautiful about it is how it's able to learn from itself, right? So that's what we have to do as smart people in order to implement it, is learn as it learns, right? And understand how can you grow that within your own business, right? We give you guys access to a ton of automation and a ton of AI when it comes throughout the process of your borrowers that are going to borrow money through ROK, right? They're interacting with a ton of automation, allowing them to really self-service themselves. Our partner portal is a form of automation and a form of marketing, right? It allows you guys to connect with us 24/7. So, don't hesitate when it comes to some of these newer things, right? I know AI and automation can scare you. I remember the first time I bought a Keurig. I'm a little older than Tim, so I can tell some of these stories, but I remember the first time I bought a Keurig and I pressed one button and it made coffee, and I got upset at it. I was mad that it could do that so quickly with so little effort and so little, all I had to do was press one button. What do you mean? I can't even function like that as a human. I can't make a cup of coffee by just pressing one button.
Yeah,
I gotta get up, get out of bed, get ready, all this type of stuff. So as you're doing this, it's really important that you're not necessarily looking to keep up with everybody, but what you're doing is you're looking to find your own way to utilize things.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that, a lot of people do get scared thinking about AI and thinking about this taking over the future. But one of the things that we've done very, very well here is maintain the difference between AI to start a prospective lifestyle and then moving that into human intelligence powering the rest.
Sure.
A lot of our process is automated, but the most important parts of our process are not automated. And that's really where, if you are going to leverage AI in your marketing strategy, understand that, yeah, maybe it'll send 500 to 1,000 emails for you. But now when those people have questions, it's now on you to be able to answer those questions that an AI wouldn't be able to do. So if you are going to go into the market of leveraging automation in your marketing strategy, definitely understand the purpose of what it's there for. And then, understand where you have to then take over in that process to be able to make the experience specific to them.
Absolutely. Customers want to still feel the customer experience. That's one thing, right? Our AI, if we're utilizing it, tells you right up front, hey, I'm an AI. Feel free to say, representative or get me to a human at any time, and they will do that. That's just the nature of the beast. People, what it can help with is mass outreach, right? It can engage with these people. It can start the conversation. But like Tim said, at some point, there's got to be a smart human, not just smart technology that kind of makes things happen, right? There's a certain amount of business that you can do fully automated, right? And we're well aware of that. I'm not trying to knock that. I'm not saying that you can't do this business and it be fully automated for you. In fact, this is one of the businesses that you certainly can do that, right? Because of all the technological advancements recently. However, when you're talking about where we talked about starting, right? We talked about starting at success. Right? Success is booking appointments. It's getting leads. It's getting people to apply. It's ultimately closing sales. It's ultimately getting funding for small businesses as far as we're concerned, right? So when you think about that success, you want to drive that success in as many different ways as you can. So it's really all about that, right? It's all about being able to utilize it and have it fill the gaps so that you're really just driving more traffic than ever. It's adding another layer of support, right? As we continue on, right? One of the things that I know you and I could talk literally all day about this is partnerships. right? If you're looking to offer lending, right, and you're telling us, you're probably sitting on here like, of course, the people who we're partnered with are telling us go get partners, right? No, what I am telling you is it's another lead source. When I was first starting out in this, I was told, hey, this is going to be a game of lead sources. The more partners you can sign, the more lead sources you have. Right. So that should just be an approach for you too. Right. If you have the ability to connect with people who have your reach, your target already built out. Right. One thing I know is I'm not the first really to do much. Right. You can certainly find other people that are out there doing it already. And that's where you're really able to leverage things, right? You leverage their network, you leverage their customers to become your customers in your network, right? And that's the power of partnerships. It's how you grow a webinar from 38 registrants to 2,200 registrants, from 16 attendees to 12,000 attendees. It's how you go from sending no emails a month to 2.5 emails a month, 2.5 million emails a month, right? Like that's how you do it. You do it with a brand and a process. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I think partnerships in general are just another way for you to add services and add, lead sources into your business. When it comes down to it, you want to leverage who you know first. Think about it like this. If you're purchasing lead data to go out there and market to, how much stronger of a referral is it from someone that you know, someone that you've done business with in the past? So if you know anybody that's in any level of financial services, or you know anybody that markets any type of product and has a large following on social media, I mean, it's worth bringing up to them that you can offer financing to their platform and pay them a part of the revenue share that you generate. Really anything to be able to say, hey, I offer financing. Can you go out there and push the initiative that I'm pushing? And the likelihood is that either you can bring the leads in from them, or they can sign up as a partner under you, and you still earn on that also.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the name of the game, guys, is just leveraging the different forms of marketing that are available. And then ultimately taking an omni-channel approach, basically utilizing all of the forms of marketing, that marketing mix that I was telling you about before. Once you identify that you have a customer, right? Let's call them ABC Consulting or ABC, Auto Repair. Right. Once you've identified that they're a customer, let's face it, they probably have a Facebook, right? They probably have a Google page. They probably have an email. They probably have all of these different ways, like a cell phone that you can interact with them on, right? So how many different ways are you able to get in front of that person and account for those things, right? Knowing that, hey, I've interacted with this customer on Facebook and an email and on LinkedIn, right? And that is cultivating a relationship, right, with your prospective customers and your existing customers. And that's the approach that you want to take, right? A lot of people, they get good at one form of marketing, right? Like, oh, I get all my business from referral. I get all my business from this, or I get all my business from that. It shouldn't be like that, guys. If you're getting all your business from one area, well, that's not a good marketing mix, like we were just talking about, right? You want to make sure that if that lead source were to dry up, you have others that are available to you. That's the most important.
Absolutely. And within that marketing mix, there's going to be channels that kind of have different content that are meant for those channels.
Sure.
Something you post on Facebook should genuinely be something different than you post on LinkedIn. That is a professional networking community.
For sure.
You're not posting about, and you really should never bring politics per se into relationships. But let's say you were to have something about that. You're posting that on LinkedIn. It's being looked at a heck of a lot differently than it would be if it was on Facebook.
Yeah.
So sure. I'd say, audiences are different based on social media channels that you're going across. But on top of that, the type of message that you're actually putting across those channels, understand why someone's going on LinkedIn on their day versus when they're going on Facebook in their day. And even cater maybe the times in which you're doing this marketing to them around that also.
For sure. It's all about optimizing your approach, right? Taking all of the guesswork out of it. And then what that does is it allows you to analyze the results. Right. If you take all the guesswork out and I've dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's, well, then if you do A/B test something, right, whether it's different images or different messaging or a different audience, whatever it is, right, you can know that, hey, I'm doing so because I have control of all of the variables. And that's really where you can find the most interaction, with with your audience. I saw a statistic leading up to this that 72% of people who use the internet in the United States have a Facebook account, right? So like Facebook marketing, Tim will tell you, I've told Tim time and time again, like, don't waste your time on Facebook. I've literally told him that in the past. And it was more along the lines, we were just seeing a lot of success on LinkedIn, and I was a little naive. But what you really start to realize is like your audience is already everywhere. And what you're starting to do by making sure that you're everywhere is you're allowing them to engage with you on their terms, right? If they're a Facebook user and just have a LinkedIn profile, well, maybe engaging with them on LinkedIn isn't really the best approach, right? Like they like Facebook, they're in the marketplace, they're in in groups, they're interacting. Then you go on their LinkedIn and they haven't posted in 3 years. Right. Or vice versa. I know some people that are all over LinkedIn or all over Twitter and are not Facebook users at all. They don't even have they have a profile. Again, 72% of internet users. Yeah, they just don't use it. Right. I don't even know what the password is. Like, I haven't logged into that in years. Especially this newer generation. They don't use Facebook like some of us, some of us older heads. They really don't. It's not the same. But I can tell you there is something like, and this was a wild statistic, but 200 million businesses on Facebook. 200 million business pages on Facebook. That is insane. When you start to narrow it down, who's in the US, who can actually afford to take funding, who needs funding, I'm sure those numbers go down, but just think about how big your audience really is and how many customers, if you have an email list or you have a list of customers that you've done business with in the past, or even if you went and purchased data, how many of those businesses already have a Facebook, already have a LinkedIn, are already interacting in some of these channels? It's just a way for you to be where your customers already are.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're sending messages out, you're sharing content and it's not getting to them, don't think it's a bad idea to even like their content or follow the pages that they follow. So your name is just an appearance. All of these 100%. Social media channels have groups, they have communities, they have areas and pages where similar like-minded professionals and people in certain industries are in. Leverage that into any way that you can. We've had people share bamboo posts on Facebook groups and bring in leads from it.
Yeah.
And they didn't speak to a single person in that group, but they just got in it and they posted at the right time and someone was in that group for the right reason. And they come into someone like us and all they had to do was share a link.
Yep.
So the power of marketing is definitely there.
For sure. And it's simple these days. You don't have to be some crazy marketing guru, as much as, the internet would love to make you think that. No, marketing is, somebody mentioned it before, a drip campaign with a wink face, right? What that means is like you take an approach where, hey, we're just going to let this kind of go at a slow pace here and let the customers engage with us when they're ready, right? It's what we call in sales psychology, staying behind the pendulum, right? What does that mean? That means that if your prospect is headed in a direction, whether it's yes or no, let them go. Right. Just get behind that, let them go in their direction. And eventually when timing's right, they'll move towards the yes, because that's what actually matters. Right. Again, good marketing requires you to have a good target audience, really align your messaging with that audience and your products.
So being on multiple channels to be able to distribute that messages to those clients.
And that's exactly the summary of it. Right. And utilizing multiple forms to engage with those people on their terms. Again, I told you we weren't going to keep this too long, but there's a bunch of you on the call, so I'm all about it, right? So we must be doing something right. As far as marketing done for you, what do we provide, Tim? Tell me a little bit about what we provide.
So, I mean, if you asked me this 2 years ago, none of this would be on the screen, but thankful to our referral partners that we have here, we've been able to really grow and be able to offer continually new things that are out there. I mean, let alone this year, I think white labeled and co-branded portal access on top of email templates are just two of the things that we've added in the 6 months that we've gone through this year.
For sure.
At the end of the day, one thing you need to know about us is we are strictly referral partner focused. Everything that we do is aimed to benefit and help our referral partners drive in additional traffic through their landing page, their marketing, their social, their bamboo, anything that they leverage as marketing. Sure. You log into a portal, you have the ability to white label, co-brand, or even leave ROK branded as the landing page. You have the ability to download marketing materials of certain products, certain flyers, certain informationals. Now, doesn't mean you have to go there and start handing that out to businesses, but in your conversations with businesses, in your counterparts with businesses, leverage the information that's there. We have over an hour worth of training videos that's not even mentioned on here. We have social advertisements. So if you want to market on Facebook and you want to do a pay-per-click, you can have a line of credit advertisement, or you can have an equipment financing advertisement.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think what's so unique about a lot of this stuff is that we got the ideas to create these from the partners' feedback that we've gotten. So at the end of the day, doing things like this and hearing from you, hey, what else can we do to provide to be able to help you bring in business? A lot of the stuff that's on here is because of the feedback we've gotten from our longstanding partners.
For sure. It's all of our active partners that lead to this. So if you guys have other things that you're looking for, let us know. We're not shy to add more resource back to you. A shout out again to the marketing team and the tech team for rolling out some really, really great features, as Tim mentioned, in the past couple of years. And what this does is it gives you that marketing mix. Whether you want to do digital and social advertising, you can start there. You can go old school, and like Tim mentioned, you could print out some flyers. I was thinking of the gentleman who was your referral partner back in the day, who saw success early because he went to an event, and it was an event of dentists down in Florida, and he just went, set up a table, had our flyers on the table. He put a little QR code for himself on the flyers, and he funded like 3 or 4 deals from it, and it paid for his next like 5 or 6 events that he went to. He went to a bunch of different events. At that point, we got him like a table skirt, all sorts of stuff. We were giving him handouts. But listen, we're not afraid to ante up, especially if you ask. So don't be afraid to suggest another marketing feature that you'd love to see, us implement in the portal, or just give you access to. When it comes down to it, guys, this is one of those things that, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink type of thing. We can give you all the information, right? We can tell you all about what we do and how we do it and the things that we give you access to, but it's really going to come down to you utilizing it and putting your own spin on it, approaching your network in a way that they're going to engage with it, and understanding that nobody sees overnight success. What comes easy goes easy, right? If you're not prepared for the long haul, it might not see as much success, right? There's plenty of partners here who, they spend their first month, 2 months, 3 months getting to know us, getting to know the products, getting their stuff set up, and potentially even, referring over business that doesn't fund. And then they catch stride once they figure out what actually works. So shout out to you guys if you are existing partners and that was your experience, right? Because I know that this is a crawl, walk, run thing. The more you know about us, the more you can leverage it. And the more we know about it, the more we can teach you how to leverage what we've built, right? And that's what it comes down to is, it's really going to be up to you, right? But what do we bring outside of marketing support? I know Tim started to touch a little bit on the partnership here. There's over 6 different financing products. What are they? They're term loans, lines of credit, SBA loans, equipment financing and leasing, asset-based lending, and merchant cash advances, right? As far as those products, there's over 75 different banks and lenders on our platform where we offer all of their products and services as an extension of our own. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't need to go build a network of lenders. You don't need to maintain that network. You don't need to keep up with the thresholds that it takes to get on with some of these lenders. You don't need to go out and get any of the broker licensing or
certification,
any of the certifications that some of these lenders are now requiring, depending on what state you're in and what where you're lending, right? Rely on us for that. All lender relations we're going to handle, right? Our technology, we talked about the portal, we talked about the marketing, but again, it's about your ability to leverage that technology, whether it's the DocuSign access or it's our calculator, our loan calculator feature. Like any of the proprietary technology or any of the technology that you get access to through ROK, make sure you're utilizing any and all of it to the best of your ability, right? And make sure you understand you get multiple points of contact, right? Your first point of contact is going to be your BDO or business development officer, and their role is to make sure that you have everything you need when it comes to being a partner and being able to generate business, right? But as far as getting that business closed, that's actually our account executives. And that's the second point of contact that you're going to meet. When you refer over a qualified customer, you're going to get an account executive that's going to be partnered with you on that transaction. And ultimately, hold your customer's hand, from open to close. So they're able to be the sales rep, full on take things from open to close. You don't have to be involved at all. If you want to work this thing side by side and kind of co-broker it, we can totally do that too. We customize our approach based on what it is that your real need is when applying, or your customer's need is when applying. And we look to leverage that information into a successful partnership.
Yeah, I like to think, especially with this type of webinar where we're talking about generating more traffic. Let's say you have a really, really good advertisement and it brings in 10 to 20 qualified prospects, and you don't have the time to reach those 10 to 20 qualified prospects. Our process is built to be able to help you with the most important part of that process, and that's that outreach and that automated communication and so on and so forth. So anyone that's here that enjoys that handoff process, shout out to you. Anyone that's here that's maybe new, that's questioning, is that going to work for me? We can work side by side on any opportunity that you have that's needed.
For sure. Absolutely. Oh, wait, we just got an email. It says, "Hey, Tony, I was just on your webinar. Great job. How can I become a partner with ROK?" Well, let me show you. No, listen, if you're not a partner with ROK and you're wondering, how can I get access to some of this stuff? How can I, market this to my small business customers and my network? Scan this QR code, become a partner now, access the BDOs, the rest of the team's knowledge, our marketing support, our tech, and
training, resources, portal, back office.
Yes, all of the bells and whistles, as we call them, to being a partner. Why did we do this? Why are we set up this way? Well, we were one time a direct broker. What I mean by that is we generated all of our own leads directly. So we know that what it takes to be successful. We know what it takes to really engage with with a small business, and figured, hey, the best way that we can reach more small businesses is just by being in more communities. So we took all of that Tim just mentioned, all those bells and whistles, boxed them up, and give them away free as our partnership program. So definitely scan that QR code, become a partner now. We look forward to rocking out with you. If you are a partner, and I saw some people asking about Bamboo or access to some of the other things, feel free to contact us right now. You can always call us at 833-3-ROK-BIZ, or email us at info@rok.biz. Check us out on the web. You can even come into the office if you're local. We're all about it. Would love to have some of you guys in the office. And that's really what we're about. We're people that help people. We're really just here to align you guys with what we're seeing in the market and really give you guys what's working. Because again, you guys have access to the customers. Anything else you want to share, Tim?
No, I want to say thank you all for being here at this time. If you haven't signed up with us yet, feel free to reach out to us directly, or if you used the QR code earlier, we're excited to speak with you and learn more about you. If you are signed up with us, thank you even more for sticking around with us for this long on a webinar that hopefully benefits the both of us in our partnership. And we're excited to see who wins the ROK gear. And if anybody else wants ROK gear and isn't selected, just let us know.
Yeah, we can always talk gear. And really quick, you like the gear thing? You don't like it? I talked about it. We might do it again on future webinars. You better let me know now.
Well, they did with their responses.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of yeses. So
absolutely, guys. So yeah, no, just to kind of wrap things up, we really do appreciate it. If there's any ideas on webinars that you guys might like, especially our active partners and our new partners here, feel free to let us know in your conversations with our team. We're always looking to put out more information. If you do follow us or don't follow us on social media, feel free to check us out there to stay up to date on some culture stuff, some fun stuff, some real life information, and more so important, the necessary information for you to be successful with us. And Tony and I will be back in front of the big screen in no time.
Yes, sir. And until then, everybody, keep rocking. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody.